Okay, and I'm Super Physics, and now I found myself a little bit into the SilverBullet. That is here. I'm a little bit into the SilverBullet. Yet another, bidirectional note-taking app, self-hosting application. Or PKM, personal knowledge management tool, and I'm a little bit into it, and I'm not also into this app, but also into the something like the tree systems, underlying, the file or folder structures of it. It seems that it is easy, right, for anybody to that is already grown up or an adult. They are familiar with the either Windows or Mac or Linux system. They have some folder structures, right? Folders, and files, right? So anybody is familiar with the current cell phones or PCs or laptops, they should be familiar with some file systems. And its file systems is a tree system, and it is precise to express the unique location or ID of a file or folder, right? So on the disk, so what I'm saying is that let's compare three softwares, note-taking apps. The first is Obsidian, OB, the second is Siyuan or SY, and the third is the SilverBullet or SB, right? So when I was developing another thing, plugin, I'm developing some plugins of it, and for the past 2 months, and I found that SilverBullet is really easy to understand or into, but fucking hard to dive into if you're programming it with some first is Lua, space Lua, and second would be some CSS and JS, and third should be TS plugin. If you're into it, you will find yourself, you'll find SilverBullet is very easy to, not that easy, right? It's a little bit hacky to deploy, so, but very easy to get into the mind flow, the workflow of it, and there's so many commands of it, and you can design your own commands, and your hooks, your anyway, it's a system of your own. So little by little, you'll find yourself, like me, a little bit into it. I'm not only into this app. I play with all kinds of other apps, Logsec and Anytype, and right, there's some other note-taking apps, Romedit, right? There's so many other apps and note-taking apps, but so let's just randomly pick 3 note-taking apps. The first is Obsidian, the second is Siyuan, the third is SilverBullet. I'm a fan of PKM, and I'm also a fan of tree systems, and this is the first episode about tree system, that is specifically file or folder structure or hierarchy or tree system, right? There are 3 systems, tree systems, typically. The first is this one, right? And the second would be breadcrumbs here, right? Or I can show you some Siyuan's breadcrumbs, right? The breadcrumb plugin or official breadcrumbs out page, right? This is in page breadcrumb plugin, So this is the second tree system I want to introduce in this Trilogy, in the second episode of Trilogy. And how about the third tree system? I think you're able to understand it for a little bit. That is the headings of any website online, right? headings of a GitHub repo, the README file, right? Headings of something of your documents, right? The headings of another one, your IDEs, right? Here, there's some pin headings, right? And so, which means there's some pin headings. So there are so many file systems around us. Yet we have little bit, not much recognition. At the beginning, maybe you think that's easy. It's as easy as ABC, like SilverBullet in the beginning. But when you dive into it, you fucking find. I'm sorry. It's complex. If you want to describe it, or let me show you. If you want to build another app, TS or JS plug inside SilverBullet, or any other app, you want to develop your own tree view plugin to demonstrating or showing or tracking the file system or folder structures hierarchies here, like this. If you want to develop something like that and make it responsive and make it and coloring it, both the text and the background of it, it costs some, it costs some minds of it. There's something more about the tree systems that is, that you think you are familiar with, but no, trust me, no. I mean, if you want to describe the things that I am developing, first, if you want to vibe coding it, you have to describe it precisely, right? So okay, let's use Luna. We have to translate for a little bit. So if you want to vibe coding this plugin, you have to first describe it clearly. Otherwise you ask for help, but right, you cannot achieve the same effect, right? So this episode about the tree or file system here, what I'm gonna do is trying to make you or make myself clear about some logic behind the responsive behavior of this file or folder tree view system or plugin here. It's a little bit complex than the OB's or Sylvian's official tree view plugin here in SilverBullet. It's a little bit complex like that. And that's because these are 3 generations of it. The first one is tree view plugins here, made by our ancestors in SilverBullet, and another Doom one that is a thing here. Where's actually? I mean, it's Xvideos style and theme and Doom one. This Doom one plugin, and a favor of a fan of it, and I'm a fan of it too. And I developed into Doom 2 plugin, so I add some responsive behavior of it. And if you're a logsec, if you are a logsec user, you might, you might familiar with some another tree, how to say, a plugin. I mean, this. That is the something like this one. This is another, bullets. It operates on bullets or outlines or some indent structures, right? So this is yet another tree view, right? Responsive behavior of it. So there's something more to say. These are okay, all kinds of tree view system. But in this episode, I'm going to explain the color of the Doom 2 thing, right? So there are three front colors. The first is blue, the second is green, the third one is how do you say, pink or maroon, right? So the blue, green, maroon, and what's that? What is the green color? The front color, the text color. Okay, it means that there's something in that. It's a folder, yet it is also a file, and there's some text or information stored in this file. 3 points. It's a folder, it's a file, and there's something in this file on your disk. Ultimately, as something, you know, bits on your disk. So how about the green one? It's a folder. It's not a file. It doesn't have a file. I mean, it's a folder. It's not a file, or it's a file with zero information stored in that. So how about the pink one? The pink text is about it's not a folder, right? It's a file. It's a file has something stored in underlying, you know, at the bottom, right? It's not a folder. It's a file at the bottom and it stores something. So these are three stuff. It's how to say, these three stuff. Or you can view something, or you can say something like, if it is not green and pink, then it should be blue. Vice versa, if it is not blue or and green, it is pink, right? So okay, it is all about the front color of a tree or tree system, is specifically file or folder structure. So there are some colors out there, right? And there should be some colors out there, right? Because it's another dimension of information representation, right? So it is but it is just the front color. It's the text color. There's some backgrounds color. You know, there are some backgrounds color, as you might sing. There's some backgrounds colors, but so what is the backgrounds color? There are some blue ones, right? What we discovered now. There's some white ones, but deeper. There's some white ones, but shallower, right? Or something like, or thinner, or something like that. And there are some pink ones, right? There's some pink ones. What is that? You know, there are 4 colors. One color more, right? So what does it mean? What does this information behind the background colors mean? Okay, here what does it mean? So first of all, if you click somewhere, any folder, any file, it should be, the background color should be white, but yet deep, right? And if you click something anywhere, either at the bottom or at the ground or top or in between, it should be the white and deep. It's background color. And how about the fathers of it, or the fathers of it, that is father's father, that is a grandpa of it, or the first ancestor of the folder or file that you click, should be in line with its front color. The background color of it should be in line with its front color. If it is green, the front color of it is, if it is green, the background color should be green. I mean, the front color, if it is blue, the background color should be blue. That is the first ancestor. If you trace the history, the ancestors of ancestors of ancestors, to the root of the folder or file or object or page that you are clicking. The farthest of it should be in line with its own color. I mean, that's my design. I don't know your design, but that's my design. So how about and anything or any folders in between the object or page you click, in between or among, between the object you click and the ancestors of it should be painted in, the background color should be white, yet not that deep. I mean, white but shallower, the background color of these page objects, right? So the name of it. So what am I saying is that, okay, now we explain 3 colors. One color is missing. That is these pink backgrounds. What does it mean? It means that it is already at the bottom, and it is a fire, and it has something, right? It has some words in that, stored in that, or maybe some other pictures in that. It is something at the bottom, and it is a fire, and it has some words in that. That is the object you are going to navigating, right? You are going to editing, you are going to viewing. Is the most heaviest information stored in those files, right? It's just kind of viewer feedback. So now we have there's something, and also there's something missing. That is anything at the bottom, and between the bottom and the thing and the object you click, there are some folders too, like the 冰水清韵 here, and its background color should be painted as the same as the at the top and between the top and the object you click, the current page, right? Between the top and the current page, it's white yet shallower. Between the bottom and your page and the thing you click, it's still white, still and shallower, right? So the logic is pretty much like this. So I think this file system is good, and the reason why it's good is that it shows where you are, right? Where you are, and what is your ancestors or your siblings. Siblings hasn't shown here, right? Just your ancestors and your children's, right? The children's of it, right? And what your current how to say, which folder or file you are currently browsing, right? And what's more is that the entire hierarchy of the current selection page, I mean the tree branch of it. So the logic I design is pretty much like that. Siblings shouldn't be here. That's because the siblings of your clicking shouldn't be here. That's because it should be here, I suppose, but I haven't included because it's already 4 or 3 colors, so it's a little bit visually distracting. So, but we will see something, how to say, maybe later in another tree system. We'll see some siblings here, right? But it's in the next episode, not this episode of the trilogy. So I think this episode is almost done. And there's something more. That is the color of the triangles, right? It shows you. It looks like a log6 plugin, right? It shows you where you are again. Where you are. The hover over of your mouse, right? Hover over some objects or some pages or folders or files. It tells you where you are. Again, like the red triangle, spanned or not spanned, and the the file or folder or pages object's name and turn into white, right? So it tells you where you are and not what you click. The what you click is is governed by the background color. Where you are is about the front color combined with the triangle's color, right? Pretty much like the log6. But log6 is click, using this logic to show it's clicking. But I'm using this logic to show it's the location of hovering over but yet not clicking. So there are three kinds of logic right now, front color, background color, and hovering logic, right? The hovering color. So it's just, if you are really into or dive into this tree system, there's a lot of things you could play with. I'll show you yet another. This file system, right? This file system, tree system 2, tree system 1, and tree system 2, in page, and it's across pages, and in page tree system 3, that is heading structures, and tree system, let's say this one, right? Tree system 3 or 4 or 3.5, or tree system 4, that's the breadcrumbs, and there's another tree system. I'll show you something like Shift Alt K, right? This is another page systems, right? And there's something like Shift Alt H, and this is another tree system that's heading structure. But the colors are quite not the same. The logic is behind it. It's not something you are familiar with, right? the orange one, the blue one. What does it mean? Okay, I'll show you something. It's just how do you say? Where is that? Right. So there's so many tree systems. Lasting for a week. I'm just into maybe 2 weeks. I'm into all kinds of tree systems. So this episode has already show you the tree system. How to say the disk or file or folder or page tree systems in Tree View plugin in SilverBullet. The logic behind it, that is the Doom 2's themes, the logic behind the Tree View structure or hierarchy. So the next episode, I'm going to talk about this one. That is the breadcrumbs. I mean, in Siyuan, the breadcrumbs, I am trying to imitate this one. I think. Okay. There's another thing I'm missing, and is in the SilverBullet tree system, right? It's pinned at the left. It's sidebar, right? It's pinned at sidebar. And of course you can cancel it, hide it, show it, and but the thing is there are something breadcrumbs. I think this is, just tell me if what is better, which is better, horizontally or vertically shown the structure. These three official ones is as a list, right? There's some indent as a list, but it's just vertically. But in Siyuan, there's some horizontally ones, right? There's some design philosophy of it. Horizontally breadcrumbs of file folder tree structures, but you can click something and then it becomes the list, and vertically, right? First horizontally and click becomes vertically. So there's some philosophy behind it. I think this is better. But I don't know why they designed it, and by default is as a long list vertically. So I think this is better to some extent, right? I think this breadcrumb is better, and inspired by it, I made another one, another backgrounds here, right, horizontally as a widget in SilverBullet, or as a top widget or top backgrounds, right? So, and there's some there's some bottom backgrounds, and I'll show you something like that in the next episode, the second episode of the trilogy.